On December 23rd, 2024, JToH's Christmas event released. Now, some recent events in the game lacked a special subrealm, and they featured instead tower modifiers and some sort of point system. But this event goes back to the standard formula of subrealm with 3 steeples, which in my opinion is the better way of doing an event. To access the event, go to Ring 1 and board this ship. And immediately after I got teleported, I was amazed at the detail of the lobby. On the islands, the buildings are detailed very well, and in the distance, the mountains look great. And trust me, you don't realize how hard it is to build natural-looking terrain with parts until you try to build natural-looking terrain with parts. That, plus the enormous size of the map and the detail on every single one of the islands, makes me realize just how much effort was put into this event by the developers. The lobby alone must have taken hundreds of total hours. But no lobby alone can make an event truly great. The steeples contribute just as much to that. As I said before, the event features 3 steeples. The first one, Steeple of Seeking Asylum, is difficult difficulty. The first day of the event, I gave it a try since it's the easiest. The event's lobby is huge, so it's a trek to each steeple, but luckily you can press this button, which will light up a path leading you to each steeple. According to this one comment on my community post asking about the event, it's easy to miss this button though. It should definitely stand out a bit more. But anyway, the color of the path is the difficulty of the steeple it leads to. I didn't notice the color coding at the time though, so I just picked one randomly and it happened to be the one I was looking for. But I do think adding text at the start of each line that says the difficulty would be a good idea, and that would also add colorblind support, which is always nice. Oh, also, writing these gondola thingies is pretty fun. In one of my Christmas events in Obby Creator, I actually did something similar to this, but eventually you'll make your way to the steeple. So now I'll give my thoughts on each steeple. We'll start with Steeple of Seeking Asylum, since it's the easiest and also the first one I played. If you've seen my Playing Requested Tower series, you know I really love atmospheric towers, and the choice of lighting and music throughout this one was perfect. It begins outside in the snow, before you enter a dark building for the remainder of the steeple. Soon you receive a candle, which is the primary mechanic. Candle juice. About every minute or so of gameplay is one of these, which will refill your candle juice. If you run out, that's probably really bad because it's going to be hard to find your way back to a refiller in the darkness. The deep darkness, some might say. The steeple is marked as long, so it should take 20 to 30 minutes if you don't fall many times. My completion time was 41 minutes because I did fall a couple times, but there is a ton of button progress along the way, so even if you fall all the way to the bottom, it won't cost you more than maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Sight readability is good too, which can sometimes be a challenge for atmospheric towers. The only spot where I got slightly lost was here. The first time you get to this spot, the door is open and it leads you to a section to complete. Anytime afterwards though that you reach the spot, the door is closed so you can skip it by going over here. But if an arrow activated, that would be nice because my second time here, I didn't realize I could do that and then my candle juice ran out and I fell to the bottom. Another player in my Discord, link in the description, says he thought he was actually soft-locked by that. But other than this one spot, it's a very sight-readable steeple overall. Other than the primary candle juice mechanic, there were many really good mechanics elsewhere. I really like this part where you get to commit arson. There's a song about that, I'm pretty sure. Also, owing to the perfectly executed atmosphere and music choice, at this part, the flip blocks into these wardrobe-type thingies had me convinced a Doors jump scare was coming. There wasn't, though. The steeple concludes with a timed section and a sign that says, "It's here. Run." Not sure what happens if you run out of time, but you do get way more time than you actually need. You get 7.5 minutes, but even with falling a bunch of times, I spent only about 2. And then one more outside and you're done. Overall, this was a very good steeple, and I had a lot of fun playing it. In my opinion, it's the best of the event. Next up is the challenging steeple, Steeple of Scrumptious Souvenirs. Some of you may remember a steeple of a similar name from Christmas 2020, Steeple of Scrumptious Travels. Throughout that steeple, you press buttons to decorate the gingerbread man that was the frame. Steeple of Scrumptious Souvenirs is pretty similar, but it's set in a giant gingerbread house. It reminds me of the similar-sized maps of that hide-and-seek game. The steeple features lots of different mechanics. Most notably, of course, is the decorate the gingerbread house mechanic, but its umbrella mechanic is cool too, later expanded upon by using a similar toggleable shield. Perhaps this is a reference to the event the steeple's predecessor was a part of, also in Christmas 2020 was Tower of Hot Chocolate Fury, which featured this mechanic. Some other mechanics that stuck out to me were this basketball thing, the oven, and the conclusion. 140 seconds to press as many buttons as you can to nerf the final jump, which is insta-kill. Like Steeple of Seeking Asylum, this one is marked long, 20 to 30 minutes. The two steeples are probably about the same length. I did complete Steeple of Scrumptious Souvenirs about 10 minutes faster, but that could just be because I didn't fall that many times. Sight readability was also very good for Steeple of Scrumptious Souvenirs. Overall, the steeple was very fun and unique, and I enjoyed playing it. It's also the most actually Christmas-themed steeple in the event. And finally, the intense steeple, Steeple of Psycho Eyes. Sounds pleasant. I mentioned Christmas 2020 earlier. How about Halloween 2020? One steeple from that event, Steeple of Pumpkin Panic, was a rising lava steeple that was one of the most rage-inducing towers I've ever played. You might be troubled to learned that Steeple of Psycho Eyes is similar, but don't worry, it's a lot better than Steeple of Pumpkin Panic. It features insta-kill rising lava, but only if you get spotted by the Psycho Eyes scattered throughout. If you get spotted, lava starts rising from the halfway point of the previous floor. You can possibly outrun it. According to this one player in my Discord server, it is possible to outrun it, although I suppose that would kind of depend on where the rising lava started. Like if you got to go through all 5 floors, then that might be more difficult. But anyway, on my winning run, I managed to avoid all Psycho Eyes. That's obviously the main mechanic, but another one it features is hands that will grab you and you must press jump a certain number of times to escape. Once you finish floor 5, you get taken to this laboratory thing, which is really cool and reminds me of the game Portal. There was apparently going to be a boss fight here, but that idea was scrapped due to time constraints. But I don't think anyone's complaining about that. Yeah, so the final floor is completely free. Steeple of Psycho Eyes is much shorter than the other 2 in the event and can be completed in around 5 to 8 minutes. However, it will still likely take you the most total time to complete of any of the steeples since it's the most difficult. But it's not nearly as rage-inducing as Steeple of Pumpkin Panic, at least in my opinion. I really like the music choice in the steeple too. The song for floors 1 through 2 is a funny time signature, 10-8. Take a listen. And the song for floors 3 through 4 contrasts the mysterious theme of the steeple by going major during one part. Let's take a listen. For most people, this is the worst steeple, but for me, it places second. The atmosphere and design were great, and I enjoyed playing through it. Now, that does mean Steeple of Scrumptious Souvenirs places last for me, but it was not bad by any means. All 3 steeples were great and placed very close for these rankings. The event will also feature a boss fight, but that has yet to be released. For now, if you go to the boss fight's location, near the Steeple of Psycho Eyes portal, you'll find a sign that says, "Check back soon." Most likely, you'll need to complete the 3 steeples before you can attempt the boss fight. The final thing I'd like to talk about today is the OST for this event. A few of the songs used throughout it were composed specifically for this event, and you can hear them in-game or on the official JToH OST YouTube channel, which I'll link in the description. 4 songs composed specifically for this event, again, goes to show how much effort they put into this. Also, if I want any chance of becoming a composer for this game, I need to formulate a business plan and conduct market research. You're gonna go spy on Barbie. I'm gonna go spy on Barbie. Let's take a listen. I guess I'll do my overly complicated music theory analysis later. And before I go, let's see what other people have to say about the event. On Christmas Eve, the day after the event was released, I made a community post asking for people's opinions, and the results are pretty positive, at least among those who've played it. Looking at the comments on this, the biggest complaint is that the steeples take too long to get to, or they're too hard to find. Well, I agree with Gaming Person. Appreciate the lobby, it only takes a minute to get each steeple. Besides, you need only travel to them once. After that, you have a quick travel teleporter. Another comment says the steeples should be more Christmas themed. I mean, yeah, Steeple of Psycho Eyes has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas, and Steeple of Seeking Asylum is only related to Christmas because of the presents throughout it, but I don't think that necessarily takes away from the event that much, and also the event will probably go on well into January, possibly even February. Most of the other comments here are pretty positive. I also asked my Discord server for their thoughts. Steeple of Seeking Asylum seems to be too long, Steeple of Scrumptious Souvenirs is good, but loop failable, Steeple of Psycho Eyes is good, but eye hitboxes are stupid, and floor 5 is annoying. In conclusion, this event is amazing. I've greatly enjoyed playing the steeples, and I look forward to the boss fight. Of all the JToH events I've ever played, I'd say it's the best one. So what are your thoughts? Did you like it, or is there anything you think should be changed? Let me know in the comments. Also, this is my final video of 2024, and I look forward to next year, which will begin with the release of Ring 5 of my JToH fan game, Shark's Many Towers of Heck. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next video, and have a great day.